Get those wonderful toys. I can't wait to show you my toys.
Hey everybody, this is D Hunter bringing another action figure review. Today we're going to be looking at the Predator 2-pack Bad Blood vs. Enforcer Predator action figure set from Neca. These are the 7-inch scale, which means the Predators are actually going to be something like 8 inches tall. These are actually re-releases of pre-existing figures. Bad Blood and Enforcer both had an individual release. This, I believe, is a 2-pack with both Ultimate versions. This retailed for $54.99 at NECA's website or Amazon store, which is pretty much 2 times the price of $27.99, which would be the Ultimate retail price that I'm usually seeing. These guys are decked out with accessories, have a lot more than the original releases, and I can't wait to see everything they've got once I get it open. First thing I notice off the top of my head is that this guy here has an unmasked head, and so does this guy, which is really cool, but this guy also has a mask that fits onto his unmasked head. This guy does not seem to have that. Would have been really nice to have those masks for both. I see a disc here that's sort of like electrified or has some sort of power going through it. Looks really cool. First time we've seen something like that. Packaging is absolutely gorgeous. You can see there's some comic art here all across, the way the guys looked in the comics. Predator, Bad Blood versus Enforcer. Huge package. Makes you feel like you're getting a good bang for your buck, just kind of tricking you into thinking you're getting more than you're getting. And don't get me wrong, you are getting a lot in here. See a couple of figures on the side here. The back, we've got pretty much just the figures doing a bunch of different action poses, fighting each other. I do like it, and it also shows some other recent releases. Actually, these all appear to be comic releases, which is kind of cool. I see the old school Dark Horse comic painted version of, I don't know if it's Jungle Hunter or City Hunter. I do have that figure in my collection. These are the most recent wave. We've got Ultimate Ahab, and then we've got this 2-pack. These are all from Dark Horse Comics. More of the figures doing their thing on the side. And the bottom, of course, I'm sure is going to have barcode and very brief description. So, excited to have this. Would have been a little more excited if I didn't already have both of the previous releases, but these are going to have enhanced articulation and enhanced accessories. So let's check these guys out and see what's up. As I continue to open up the package and remove the figures, I personally am not one to save any packaging, although this is a very nice one in itself. But one thing I am going to save out of it is a little insert that went between the figures and the back of the packaging. You can see here some comic art of the two of them fighting each other, as well as a bunch of Predator Vision stuff in the background. I'm going to hang this up on my Dark Horse Comics Predator shelf as a background. It should fit just perfect, and it's free. Now here are the two Predators broken down out of their packaging with their accessories in their entirety. Now these Predators do earn the title Ultimate because they come with quite a bit of stuff. I've removed their hands, and this is how they are straight up out of the package. Here are the accessories. Bad Blood Predator comes with an unmasked head, 2 human heads, a spear, bloodied up sword, a disc with some energy or something going on it with jagged edges, 2 skulls, honestly not sure what this thing is, and 4 hands. And then the Enforcer Predator comes with shoulder cannon, unmasked head, a mask that does not fit on the unmasked head, 3 hands, 2 left, 1 right, a disc, and a combi stick. Very plentiful in the accessories. We will look at them in a little bit of greater detail shortly. I'm going to go ahead and put on the hands I'm going to use for each one of these guys, as well as his shoulder cannon, etc. Now just a quick look at both these figures. Here's the Bad Blood figure. I love the mask. I believe last time he came with just an unmasked head. He's got some nice bones on his shoulder here. I like it a lot. He's got a Predator skull of one of the Predators he's killed on his shoulder. Looks really nice and does not hinder the articulation. Some more bones here. He's got his wrist shoulder thing, which, I don't know, it almost seems like it opens backwards than how it should. He's got a triple blade, kind of like Ahab does. Looks like it's a little bent here. He has sort of a purple tint to his skin. Both these predators have that, and I actually really like it. It makes him look kind of unique and different. Skulls for his knees for some other alien races. A place to hold a disc, but he doesn't come with a disc that fits in there. And I kind of remember the other Bad Blood predator being that way as well. Some bones on the side. Barefoot. Like it a lot. Visually very pleasing. And then we've got this guy, the Enforcer, who I think looks kind of like Shredder a little bit, for obvious reasons. This one here, the previous one came with just a masked head, but this one comes with both versions. He's got this little sort of logo right above his head. Not sure what exactly that's supposed to be. He's got the shoulder cannon, which is attached. Nice silver, matches his armor. He also has the purple tint on him. Kind of reminds me of the emissary predators from the movie The Predator they're going to be making. Double wrist blade. He's got a computer that opens differently than the other one. Feels way more stable. Looks really nice. Both of these are very visually pleasing figures if you ask me. Now let's check out their accessories in a little bit more detail. And then we will check out the articulation and some comparison pictures. So Bad Blood here on the side. I attached absolutely nothing to him except for his hands. So he had 4 hands. I decided to go with the 2 that can hold items because he's got a spear and a sword, and I'm probably going to want him holding both those sometimes since he doesn't seem to have anywhere to holster them. He's got room for a disc and did not come with a disc that would fit. So let's start with this disc. This thing is different, really cool. I like the way the front looks, kind of like a buzzsaw. On the back we've got some of the Predator tech, and it looks like a regular disc inside there that would normally fit there, but there's just no way to make that work. I find that very interesting. So he's got his sword bloodied up. I like it. Looks like it's going to hold into this hand pretty nicely. And he has nowhere to holster it when it's off duty. So it's a little bit loose in that hand. I just thought this one looked like it might be even looser. And this hand is a little tighter than that one. So he's got a spear, good for throwing and killing stuff. Gosh, that hand is really not holding that very well. I have to use some hot water and tighten it up. So there he is holding his 2 weapons. Whoa, that's just terrible. So he also comes with 2 completely opened hands, good at holding the disc and whatnot with. He also comes with a masthead, which looks really nice. The detail, the weathering, sort of damage, the gold chrome looks beautiful. The head pops off with ease. The peg here doesn't really have a traditional ball at the top, so it's easy to swap the 2 heads. I really don't like it when you have to use hot water to swap them. I like it better when it can be done with ease like these ones are. So here's his unmasked head, and boy, I think that looks just terrific. Look at that thing. The detail, the purple, the different colors. I think it looks great. Intimidating. The pink around the mouth. Just looks really, really nice. I prefer to use the masked heads, but boy, this one looks really nice. And on his masked head, he's kind of got this little crown thing going on with the top of his mask. Looks really cool. Love the detail on this guy. So next up on his accessories, he does come with 2 victims, human. They're sort of cut in half. You can see the innards and whatnot, but they're sort of flat cut that way, just kind of odd. They will hook onto his belt. At first, I actually thought that the skulls would attach to here, but I guess I'm incorrect on that. I think that's actually intended to holster maybe his spear, which seems like it's a little too fat to fit in there. How about that sword? I don't know. I don't think that's going to fit in there either. On my older Bad Blood Predator, I was holstering the sword in there, but wasn't really sure if that was what it's supposed to be in there or not. The picture of the Predator shows these two skulls attached to his belt here, although there's no clip or anything, huh? The back of the box here showed the two skulls on that side of his belt on the left-hand side. It almost seems like maybe they're just wrapped up in there. I don't know if I'll be able to fit them in that way. I'll go ahead and try it out real quick though. Oh yeah, it's absolutely no problem. This thing gets really loose really easily. If you can kind of see me stretching it out there, I'll be able to slide that skull in there. Absolutely no problem at all. And bam, there we go on the side there. I went ahead and wedged the spear into there. It really wasn't that difficult. Just kind of used some support with both my hands to make sure I didn't force anything in there to break it. Do not see anywhere he can holster his sword, so I think I'll take these two skulls and put them on the other side of his little belt thing. Come on, belt. And let's see how that looks. Seems a little bit too busy down there. I don't believe this is how he's intended. None of the pictures I show where these non-skulled human heads go, but if you want them to all fit on him, that will sure work. And that's how I display my older Bad Blood Predator, just to incorporate all the accessories into him. So there's next on the agenda is this thing. I have no idea what this is. I believe the old one came with this as well, and I've either lost it or it's in my Predator accessories with stuff I didn't really know what to do with or thought was broken off of a Predator. So all in all, I think this guy came with a great amount of accessories. Very pleased to add to my collection. I was kind of hesitant because I already had the Bad Blood Predator, but this one sure adds a lot to your collection. So next we've got the Enforcer. As you can see, his shoulder cannon has been added. Moves around, no problem, up and down, all good. It feels pretty sturdy, no issue breaking it, doesn't seem like. So we've got 3 hands. He only had one right hand, which is open. It will hold his disc pretty nicely. Then we've got one that will hold something. I'm currently using it as his left hand. Figured it would hold his combi stick and whatnot. Then he also came with another sort of open hand, which could hold a disc or whatnot to be replaced here. He came with his disc, completely silver. You can see the Pred Tech on the bottom. And then the top should fit in his holder nicely, but as I'm sure most of you guys know, this can be very tricky with some of the Predators. And it looks like this one is going to be no exception. This one seems exceptionally bad as far as being able to holster in there. I'll have to mess with that later. Next we've got a combi stick, completely silver, matches his color scheme and whatnot. Very often these parts break off for me, so I'll try to be careful with this. Then we've got his head. I like the little logo there, don't really get it. Haven't read this book in forever. So when switching out the heads, do be careful about this top part here. It feels like if you're not holding it right, you could break that very easily. And that is sort of the charm of this guy. Shredder Predator. He's got his unmasked head right here. Pop that thing on. So here's his unmasked head. Once again, the coloring, he's got purple around the spots up there. I like it. His hair is kind of brown, a little different than the usual kind of Predator. Do like the way his unmasked head looks, and I was pretty excited. He had both the masked and unmasked head, and it looked like the unmasked head had the option of a removable mask. I know some people prefer the swappable heads. I personally prefer removable masks. I just like being able to do that, but the drawback there is sometimes it doesn't look quite right when on, and it doesn't stay on very well. The drawback to the heads is just the pain of having to swap them continually. I was like, oh, it's really cool because he's going to have both options. So that we have this mask, which I thought would fit right on top of the head. It doesn't. It's just kind of for show. As a separate Predator accessory, does not fit on his face no matter what you do. On the inside of the mask here, we do have some Predator Tech, which I love the detailing on. Since we are on the subject of accessories, I figured I'd compare the accessories to the regular releases versus the new Ultimate releases real quick. Here's the new release combi stick. Nothing special here. It's pure silver. Here is the old release. It's also pretty much silver. Of course, mine has both ends broken off. Did save them for possible future gluing one day. Then they also have the two discs. Both are silver. Both are pretty much identical. Nothing special going on with Enforcer's accessories compared to the old version. Of course, we do have Bad Blood, and his accessories are a little bit different. First of all, we've got the spear. On the left-hand side is the old one. On the right-hand side is the new one. You can see they are identical sculpts. They have the exact same little nudges sticking out of them. Next, we've got his swords. On the left is the old one. On the right is the new one. You can see they're painted a little bit differently. Even the handle is a different color. Then we've got the skulls that he came with. On the left here are the older ones, and on the right here are the newer ones, and the newer ones are painted a whole lot nicer than the old ones. As you can see here, the exact same sculpt, just the details much nicer. The old ones look like they could even be bootlegs of some sort. They're that bad compared to the new ones. And even the back part is painted differently. Really do like the detail of these guys. Gruesome, disgusting. I do love it. In addition to that, we've got the skulls. This is the newer figure, and these are the older ones. Once again, just utilize the sculpt better and painted better detail, better shading. Then a quick glance at the unmasked head again. And speaking of accessories, this figure did not come with this, but if you bought the Predator accessory set from way back when, or the Ultimate Jungle Hunter, he came with this laser accessories if he's shooting right into this battle damage xenomorph. Once again, this does not come with him. It would have benefited coming with him, but it does fit perfectly into his style shoulder cannon. So that would be the two guys' accessories. Pretty plentiful, if I may say so, and it is well worth upgrading over the old versions if you had them. Now let's check out their height. So these Predators are NECA figures, and they're of the 7-inch scale, but Predators are traditionally 8 or 8.5 feet in the film, so they're going to be a little bigger than 7 inches. 7-inch scale means a 6-foot tall human would be about 7 inches. So these guys here look to be about, from the top of his head, not the spike, it's about, I don't know, 8 and maybe 1/8 inch, about 8.3 inches. If you take the spike into account, and this guy here, pretty much the same, just a hair above 8, maybe 8 1/8 inches for both these guys for the most part. Pretty tall, beastly looking guys. On the left is the older Bad Blood Predator figure. On the right is the Ultimate newer release. Really beautiful. I absolutely love the detail on the inside of the mouth, the layers, the details. The new one looks just a whole lot better paint-wise. Alright, next let's go ahead and look at the articulation. Let's start with the Bad Blood figure. So, of course, he's got a head like most Predators. Turn around, absolutely no problem, and can look down this far, and it can look up that far, not too bad. Next, he's got his shoulders. Can go out about that far. Up, down is hindered from this extra piece of armor up here. The other side, we've got the skull here, and it's hindering it a little bit from going up all the way. Goes up and down, around, no problem. They've got a bicep cut here on both sides. Then they got double jointed elbows. Do enjoy that. You can go all the way up, scratch his head like he's thinking, etc., etc. He has, I don't know what you call that, a forearm cut, I guess. Then he's got this triple blade. He was, I think, the first Predator to ever have that. Ahab's the second one. Comes out about that far, goes back in. I did have to use hot water to free mine up. It would not come out. I was afraid of breaking it. So wrist can go down and up. Then, of course, all the way around, no problem. And he does have swappable hands. Next, he's kind of got two ball joints in here. Top one doesn't really move very much. It goes around, though, but up and down, not too much. And the bottom one seems like it's a little bit more loose and a little bit more articulated. As a whole, with his ab crunch, you can look down like that. and back up like that. It's not too bad. Then he's got his legs. Got a kind of ball joint on the inside. They can go out this far. They're connected by a really small piece inside there, which is kind of concerning. I don't remember the other Predators quite being like that. Of course, they go up and that far, back pretty far as well. His soft material here is not connected in the back, so it can come up really easily, which doesn't really look that great. He's got double jointed knees with these cool skulls in front. All the way around. Then he's got feet that can go around, they can tilt, and they can go up and down quite a ways. Next, let's look at the Enforcer's articulation, which will be quite similar to Bad Blood's. Got his head, can go around, hindered a little bit by a shoulder cannon, down that far, up that far. Shoulder cannon, of course, is articulated on the top, can go completely around, can also go up and down here. It can also go up and down individually there, so it's a complete ball joint up top here. So a lot of articulation on this, and it feels pretty sturdy. Next, he's got his shoulders. Up, down, they're pretty tight. They can go out. Ooh, that one might need a little heat to fix it if it's intended to go out much further. And this one doesn't really go out very far at all, to tell you the truth, either. This one's got the armor kind of blocking in. This part has already broken off. So he's got a bicep cut. A little hot water will probably make that go further up here. Actually, you know what? If you look in there, it looks like it's really not going to go any further. You can see the little joint part there. As it hits, right when it goes there, it's not going to go anymore. Anyway, bicep cut, double jointed elbows, forearm cut, blades come out pretty far, hand up, down, around, swappable as well. Same ab articulation on both sides, his legs. Oof, very tight. Go out about that far, forward about that much, and then back, really not at all. His piece here is connected all the way through, so it won't allow his leg to go back as far. Double jointed knees. And feet exactly the same as the other guy. Rock, up and down, around, no problem. Now that we have looked at their articulation, let's compare them to their older counterparts. A lot of the sculpt is the same, and a lot of it is new as well. So their heads, the old one actually is pretty much the exact same sculpt as the new one. I noticed that my guy's sort of head piercing has broken off, it seems like. Now this part is completely different in the middle. He's got a joint here, whereas he had absolutely nothing on this guy. Shoulders, okay, so let's see. The bones are definitely the same on both sides. It's one annoying thing about my old one, his hand falls out very easily. Shoulders, armor, a little bit different here. The same up here. The biceps are different. This guy has double jointed elbows. This guy has single jointed elbows. The wrist seems the same, painted considerably differently though. Same on this side. These things, the skulls will be the same, the bones are the same. This wrist guard is the same. The elbows and I believe the top part of the arms are different with the double jointed elbows. Then we've got the legs. They look pretty much the same sculpt wise. They do have double jointed knees on both the new one and the old one, so I think everything is the same from there below. Now let's look at the new Enforcer versus the old Enforcer. The old one is on the left hand side. First thing I noticed is the new one is a little bit taller than the old one. So their heads, in my opinion, do look like the same sculpt. Shoulder cannon, it's maybe a tiny bit different on the connection here. It looks like it's a little bit taller on the new one. So his shoulders, I'd say the armor looks identical. It's made the same. This one has a bicep cut up here, whereas the old one does not, so this entire part is going to be different, and I'm sure it was the same on the Bad Blood. Now I have the same problem on the Enforcer. His right hand falls off so easily, and on the old Bad Blood, his left hand falls off so easily. Really annoying. Anyway, he's double jointed on the new one, not the old one on the elbow, so that is different. He's got the same difference with the ab crunch here. They both have waist articulation, but he has the enhanced ab crunch, which makes his torso taller, which is why the figure is taller. The legs, pretty much the same articulation. I do feel like it's a little bit stronger on the newer one. And the legs from the pretty much waist down, the figure is pretty much the same. The paint job is considerably different. Look at their feet. This guy's got a lot more purple on him. He almost seems like a completely different Predator. And of course, another difference is this guy came with the unmasked head. And of course, the original only had the masked head. Next, let's compare them to some other Predator figures. So you can see them from far away. This is the two Ultimate ones compared to each other. Here are the new Ultimate ones compared to their original counterparts. Both the Ultimate ones appear a little bit taller than the originals due to the enhanced torso area. Here they are next to the recently released Ultimate Ahab figure, which is also from the Dark Horse comics. Here they are next to another recent Ultimate Predator release, The Fugitive, from the recent movie The Predator. Here they are next to the most recent wave of Predator figures released. These are non-Ultimates. We've got the two Ultimate figures from this 2-pack versus, or next to, Hornhead, Broken Tusk, and Machiko. Once again, these are also from Dark Horse comics. Here they are compared to all the other Dark Horse comic Predator figures. We've got the Dark Horse comic color schemed Jungle Hunter. Then we've got the regular Bad Blood Predator, the Ultimate Bad Blood, Machiko, Hornhead, Broken Tusk, Ultimate Ahab, regular Ahab, Ultimate Enforcer, and then regular Enforcer. Can't wait to see more comic figures in the future. Here they are compared to the Ultimate Jungle Hunter and Ultimate City Hunter. Here they are next to a couple of Ultimate Xenomorphs from the Aliens film that were just released. Here they are next to a couple of Engineers. Here they are compared to some NECA Alien and Predator human figures. You can see size-wise they are massive compared to the humans. Here are those two Predators taking on part of Dutch's team from the original Predator. You've got Billy, Dylan, Dutch, and Hawkins. Can't wait to get the rest of the team completed eventually. And here's my Dark Horse Predator shelf in its entirety. You can see all the figures on display with the background that came with this Ultimate 2-pack. Overall, I must say I do enjoy both these figures quite a bit, and I would recommend getting them. And that says a lot for somebody like me who has the original versions. I'm still very happy I got these. With the different accessories they have, I can have one unmasked and one masked and kind of use them as different Predators almost. I'm really happy with the differences, and these guys are really enhanced compared to the old ones. I cannot wait for the upcoming next NECA releases. Next, we've got the 3 arcade Predators from the arcade game AVP. And then I believe shortly after that, we're going to get the Ultimate Golden Angel. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, press like below. If you want to see additional videos from me, subscribe and allow notifications. If you have any comments about the video, put them below. If you have any action figure review requests, put them below as well. Once again, thanks for watching. This is D Hunter.